do to you. So what the fuck am I fighting for? Were all those rumors true? Or were you trying to get a rise out of me? A rise out of me? Or I don't wanna make it all about me again. And I don't even know half the things you said. to walk away. I'm hoping that you'll stop and make me have to stay, 'cause I'm floating in your orbit. Pull me back, take my hand, call my name. You understand, I wanna stay, 'cause I don't wanna walk away. Yeah, I'm stuck in your space. Just my luck, put me away. You understand, there's nothing left to say.
spit. Trouble in my city, but you know I'm across it. Got a 40 on my hip and I'm liable to spark it. Throw down these hits, my click is indivisible. I aim, you duck, I squeeze, now you invisible. I'm not afraid of getting physical. All these different chemicals are fogging up my visuals. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Yo, we notorious, we ain't no runners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Yo, we some warriors, they ain't called gunners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Put on my strap, put on the beam, put on the map, put on my team. Take out every motherfucker in between, know what I mean? Better my stealth, better my aim, better my rap, better my name. Killing rappers on my hang, I'm by their chains for the fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is a lovely Friday night here at ZMG. I am Alzeranor. I am joined by PrettyFIG this evening, and we will be casting the Aegis Guardians League ZMG Luna versus TA Wooper Week 2 match. We are getting into Game 1's pick ban here. So far seems like fairly standard bans across the board, wouldn't you say, with the Enchanter supports, the Olaf, which has been banned in both these games and the Aegis Protectors League games that we streamed with ZMG Legends last night.
I believe the reason why Senna got banned here too is because Luna's support has been climbing with Senna. I believe they have around a 70% win rate.
At 70% win rate would be a little bit scary, but we have seen coaches that have missed stuff like that, of course. Azir was let through in game 1 of ZMG Legends' series against Lotus Bloom last night. Pardon me, I blanked on the name. I wonder if the coaches for ZMG Luna know something that we don't with the Vayne ban here. That's not something that I've been seeing a whole lot the past couple of patches.
I'm not really up to date on TA's roster, but I assume there must be a lot of Vayne games. Oh, and with Luna, we first picked the Kog'Maw Lulu, a very strong lane.
A very strong bot lane. Indeed, of course, Lulu giving that attack speed and being a great peel champ for that Kog'Maw. We do see TA Wooper first pick the Zeri and responds to the Kog'Maw Lulu with the Wukong. We have seen in previous games how disruptive a good Wukong can be.
So it's really going to be on Luna's Loon to really position himself in these fights so he doesn't get chain CC by the Wukong Renata.
Now, of course, ZMG Luna had a hard week in week 1 going down 0-2 in their first match. Do you think this team is more energized and ready to come back with a win this match here up against TA Wooper?
Me from like even yesterday's close game. I will always have faith in my ZMG teams. I will say though, for this week we have done a few roster changes. We now have Swole Pingu in the top lane, and then we now have Molly Wops as our mid laner. So we shall see if our roster changes and uh, practice this week will show through in today's tournament.
Now, the Poppy pick here, of course, is a bit of a flex, can go in the jungle or the top lane. From your experience with this Luna team, where are you expecting that Poppy to head?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I've never seen them play Poppy, but you know, there's always there's always times for change.
Yeah.
I
We
will say though, they do tend to put well, well with that Malphite pick, I'm pretty sure that will be a Poppy jungle.
indeed a very tanky team here. Looks like they're buying into the protect the Kog'Maw comp here. A lot of top lane bans as well. Aatrox, Darius, and Aurelia all falling in that second round of bans. So it will be interesting to see what's left in Wooper's top laners pool here. The Ornn is
Well,
picked.
that's been a fairly popular pick in comp play, especially with the upgraded items and very great like ulti.
Very, very similar niche to what Malphite can do, so filling the same role there for both top laners. We're probably not going to see a whole lot of action early from that lane.
I feel like in both teams, since we kind of have just like a little bit of a tank top lane, I feel like that will probably lead to more of a focus either mid or bot lane.
We do have the last second Victor pick to round out this Wooper team. Thoughts on that? How well do you think it fits into the comp they drafted through the first 4 picks?
I think overall, like Victor's just a very safe pick, and he scales very well into the late game. So I feel like it will be really dependent on how they position. Except, I guess there is still like synergy within the team because when Wukong goes in, Orin can follow up, and Ziri can hop over a wall, and then Victor's just there to kind of zone with his uh stun and ulti.
We do see the Anivia last pick from ZMG Luna, so that will round out this team comp for them. As with the Victor, it's a fairly safe lane, but has great scaling and is a great control mage that will do a great job of protecting that Kog'Maw in the late game.
I think both teams have a very similar, like, kind of front to back team. It's kind of come down to the wire of who can protect their carries better.
If you're ZMG here, are you at all concerned by the fact that you're heavily relying on the Kog'Maw to be all of your damage? Or do you think that the Anivia is going to be able to pick up enough slack outside of being just a control mage to protect that Kog'Maw?
Pardon?
Do you think that Luna is putting too many eggs in one basket here with the Kog'Maw, or do you think the Anivia will be able to balance that out?
I think the Nivea should, like, if she goes the correct ruins and has and probably goes maybe Leandri's, she should be able to kind of zone and burn the blue side.
Of course, on the other side, blue side has 3 significant damage threats with the Zeri, the Wukong, and the Victor, depending on how that Wukong builds. So, of course,
I will say though, depending on how the fights initiate, the Poppy, um, is it her E, the thing that stops people from coming in on her?
that is her W,
W. See,
Steadfast
I
Presence.
obviously I have played a lot of Poppy in my time. I think that will help protect the backline because that will kind of stop the Wukong and the potential Ornn.
And of course, in the same vein, you have the Poppy ult, which can remove a couple of members of Ambition Wooper from the fight temporarily by the team the desperately needed time to reposition and reorient. Any other initial thoughts looking at this draft? How do you expect to see the early game going? Where do you think the junglers are going to focus here?
I think that I think both mid laners are fairly safe. Like they're just kind of a control mage. I do believe that a lot of the focus will end up being bot side, especially around Drakes, because I do think that if we get towards the late game, I feel like the Victor will kind of outscale the Nivea, but Kog'Maw should outscale Zeri.
Do you think there's a chance then that both of these junglers are going to start on their top side buffs and go for a early rotation into the bot lane to gank? Or do you think it's more likely that they'll both start on the bot side of the map and do a standard clear before looking to gank?
I'm really unsure. I don't really know much about jungle pathing, per se. I'm not jungle.
Very fair. All right. Well, folks, seems both teams have got everything locked in and we are getting ready to load into game. So we've got a short spectator delay to get through here, during which we will go on a short break, but don't go anywhere. In about 3 minutes, we will be back with the start of Game 1 here between TA Wooper and ZMG Luna. Stay tuned.
Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting loaded into game one here between Team Ambition Wooper on the blue side and Team ZMG Luna on the red side. We have been joined at the desk by Glorsnacks,
Hello, hello.
who will be helping to provide commentary on this game.
Yes, sir. It is time for ZMG Luna to be activated by the casting diff, where we just scream into the microphone.
Well, of
My
Do
course,
they
favorite
hear us
part.
and start performing?
Yep.
we've already won the casting battle, of course, because this game was delayed by about a minute and a half because their caster took too long to show up. ZMG's
True.
casters were on time.
True.
We have already won the game.
It is an organizational diff. So once we have done our due diligence as an organization, of course, now we just handle business on the Rift.
All
So
jokes.
looking at these matchups, do you believe that the junglers will be focusing a lot of their time in bot lane?
Yes. As the coach and somebody who made the game plan with Gino, talking about how we have to pilot this game, I kind of figured that their top laner is the weak side in all of their games. He doesn't seem to get ahead much by himself, so it doesn't really affect him in a way. I also think that their jungler either decides to camp bot or camp top, or not top, camp mid. Apologies. So I need Molly to get ahead and make sure that Team Ambition Wooper is handled with business in mind.
Are you at all surprised here that neither of the junglers started their top buffs so that they could rotate down to the bot lane earlier?
Well, Wukong did his bot buff, which was kind of strange, but I kind of figured that you should. Like, Poppy starting blue makes sense because of the mana cost, but Wukong starting red is not necessary, in my opinion. I think people have just begun to autopilot to just always start wherever the bot lanes are. That's kind of been a humongous thing that's been happening ever since like season 7, right? Where it's just become kind of commonplace, and now we just expect it to happen, right? It used to be like, jugglers could start wherever they needed.
I
Oh, a
I
nice gank here. The Predator
Stun
he
comes down,
flashes
flash
for
over
it!
the wall.
Wait, you don't have to get to the stun! Let's go, response, baby. First blood.
Kyra does that play. Both now jungler and enemy mid laner do not have flash.
Let's go. Good job.
To be honestly, I didn't realize this, but there is a great interaction between Poppy and Anivia, because maybe not right now, but
Oh
when
my
Anivia
goodness,
gets
it's the regank angle, and Victor has no flash! Oh my god, they've listened. They don't want Hell Week.
And Beanie pulling the Hashinshin
Oh no,
there.
this is really bad right now. This is possibly catastrophic for Alun. He has to run away as much as possible. Lulu may be the sacrificial lamb here. The slows are there. Flash is away. Zeri still had flash and chose not to go for it. That was a dangerous move. Unfortunate that Poppy got both of those kills. And ZM bot lane being super aggressive here. They are just staying where it's not needed to stay, and they will pay the price for it. That was completely unnecessary. That's a flash forward and a double kill for their bot lane, as just the disrespect in the bot lane makes sure that they actually don't get enough trades back in the end.
Now
How sad.
this ZMG team is very much built around a protect Kog'Maw comp. Does it concern you as a coach and as a ZMG fan that this Kog'Maw is now 2 kills behind, alongside a healthy chunk of CS?
Yes. But if all else math fails, Kog'Maw can just stand still, press W, and dodge Zeri. And hopefully that is the victory that we can get here. It was very unnecessary for Alun and Alolan to kind of walk back up there. There was no point of it.
They were being greedy. I will say though, as I was saying earlier, mid lane does have a really good setup between the Nivea wall and Poppy wall stun.
We'll call it a spotted bot.
Yeah.
I did agree with you. I said that, yeah, I agree. I think it's really easy for them to get consistent stuns. You know, it was either a Nivea or Cassiopeia, but I prefer a Nivea. Just because that champion is a space dominator. As Predator has been procced early, so now they know that Poppy is bot lane. Because they're within the range of it. Unresponse not actually going to start up Dragon there. Wants to help Molly shove in this. Actually, just takes a T-Tours right through mid lane. I did notice that as well. Alun has a Rage Knife with no crit. So it just does the base 40. Which, to be fair, I think has kind of been the build.
I did see that yesterday in one of the ZM Legends matches as well, where the Kog'Maw rushed Ginsu's first item, so...
Yeah, you do go Ginsu's first item.
But the full Rage Knife... An interesting first back.
Okay, so both laners have grass. Which one actually has more stacks? I'm kind of curious.
Grass stacks? I think it's 100% Ornn. I don't think it's going to be the same right there, but very good trade there for Malphite. While Ornn does have more tier procs right now, this is at a point where Malphite, if he plays this correctly, can solo kill the Ornn, which be pretty good for him considering this is a losing matchup for him. Eventually, Malphite will just get outscaled by Ornn.
I do believe Malphite has
Oh, this is the perfect time to Predator right now. This is going to be unresponse. He won't get the wall hit. Zeri still waiting to use her abilities, and then she just ran away the entire time. Lulu Pix will take the auto attack right then and there, and this is going to be a lot of damage onto Ornn. Ultimate was already used. Flash has been used. Can he get it? Swolpanger, he will! A solo kill in the top lane means Ornn goes home, back to the fountain where there is still no water, and a gank bot lane. Zeri, greedy with the flash, means that she will not live with it, and the Luna's Pixie will go ahead and take that final one. Uh-oh.
With that play
Now we have
bot lane, Kog'Maw has kind of caught back up in.
top lane is
Yeah.
just a nice flash away. Good. We did not ego the flash like Zeri did, so go ahead and get out alive.
It
As
is a little
now
unlucky that Lulu got that kill though.
Anivia is going to go ahead and do great damage onto Victor. But Wukong is here, so kind of can't push this luck forward. And right now, it is a CS difference mid lane of about 14. Jungle is about 4 camps ahead. Top lane is still losing, but he did get that solo kill. By 80 carry, Zeri is still very much ahead in gold, just due to the fact that she got those 2 kills. Early game, yep, 600. It's 1,000 gold difference in the jungle with those 2 kills, which is very impressive. Malphite ahead of gold because, you know, 1 goal, 16 CS, 17 CS is 1 kill. And Lulu getting that shutdown means that she gets more gold.
To better protect the Kog'Maw. Supports need gold too.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
My goodness, he's running at him like a madman. Well, that is exactly a good state for Luna right now. That Luna has kind of suffered some early game problems before in the past, but this is really good for them right now. Response is able to kind of assert his pressure. Already has Predator boots fully procced. And it is a grass top lane. And you kind of expect to see Comet, no?
It really depends on like the scaling, I guess, per se. Like if you are trying to beat your opponent, Malphite will typically go Comet, especially if it's a sustained kind of lane. Just so you can get that extra little burst. But
I also think that you go Corrupting as well to kind of mitigate all that if you had went Comet, of course, but went D-Shield, went Grass, just going for pure tank only. First player to break the 100 CS mark is going to be mid lane. Good job, Molly. He earned himself a
this
piece of
the
candy.
drills coming into play.
He earned himself a single piece of candy.
That will be mailed to him by next week.
Mailed to him in 4 months from now. As now let's get a nice little engage right then and there. Could this be enough? The ultimate was used. Ornn, can you live? He does. Barely.
He now has to reset. He definitely cannot stay.
Definitely cannot stay. Apologies for that. I was reading a message. This is going to be a nice little engage right there with the Predator was procced. I do think that the only
Also-
issue is that Poppy is using Predator maybe a bit too early, giving away the position, right? As now we have a fight bot lane. It is a Fiesta. They now see Wukong here. Zeri ultimate has been used. That's going to be 2 hit right fall back right now, but it's just Wukong by himself. That's going to be the reveal with the slide. He will get stunned up and alone confirms that kill. Zeri still trying to do as much as he can, but Renata and Zeri both clumped up for the Poppy ultimate. So that means they just went home flying. Wukong was left all alone, 1v3, not able to do much as he could. And now it is a great advantage for Luna, almost kind of stabilizing the gold lead in the bot lane right now, especially now that they're almost even CS.
Apparently, we're not looking. At one point, we did get Drake.
No, we did see that. That was
No,
after
we did
the
see
first
that.
gank.
Yeah, we did see that. It was not after the first gank. They just decided they had a good reset, and he wanted to solo it.
I'm fairly certain it was after the kill onto Zeri.
Maybe it could have been. My memory fades. Apologies. I'm an old man. And now they are really being greedy right here. Response will clear the vision instead. ZMG's bot lane needs to back soon. They cannot stay down here constantly this low. 2,000 gold on Kog'Maw, now finally going to take the reset, but he waited for the enemy to be taking a reset as well, which is not really ideal. Could have instantly come back to lane already with the Rage Blade completed. And now it is just a 2-level difference top lane right now. Perfect Poppy W means that Wukong will not touch these lumps. Does Poppy have lumps? What would you call a Yordle?
I mean, Yordles are like children, man.
That's weird. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah,
move
let's just not even go into that.
Let's just not do this. This bit is over. It's going to be Molly taking a lot of damage, trying to clear that ward. Now they see that there's 3 there, though. It's going to be a fight top lane, and it's a 4v4 right now. Dragon is up. Could this be a potential fight right now? They will all get together, actually, and be able to be together. Malphite has no teleport, so you are going to be fighting this. You will not have the big, strong rock man in the top. Or now teleporting to the bot lane. They want this call. And now Molly's in a really bad spot potentially here. Forced to flash away. Oh my goodness, the 4-man Ornn ultimate is not going to happen. That was a deer in headlights moment there. I saw it with my eyes. The Ornn horn was called and no one answered. Thank goodness. If Ornn had predicted, I think that would have been a 4-man knockup and he would have instantly flashed over and Wukong would have flashed, and I think that entire fight would have been doomed. And thankfully, we only lose the dragon.
And then we did manage to get the first turret top with that TP play.
It is really worth it. And oh my goodness, Swole Pengu go ahead and says, "This is my blue buff." As he just smacks it. Oh my goodness. Zeri W damage is not extremely fair, as now Rift Herald is being taken. This is a late Rift Herald, per se.
I like that they tried to trade objectives. They lost the Drake, and now they're like, we'll go take Herald. It's fine.
They do take Herald, though. There is no tower plates anymore, so it's not as effective, though. It can be used to crack mid, though. If you believe that you can crack this mid lane tower, relieve a lot of pressure here for the Anivia. Anivia, of course, now having a major CS lead, 20 CS up. Of course, Victor kind of suffering. Does have futures market, though. So Anivia is just posturing around mid lane, doing her best to keep up this gold lead ahead right now. So, interesting fact is that Response, I think, has gold. Can we go back real quick? I think he needs to back for Divine. We'll do it right now, as we have 2,000 top lane. I think Malphite has not reset since he took that tower, and now is going to be taking an extremely late reset, but any reset is better than no reset.
Did at least already have that frozen fist, so he wasn't sitting on a completed item to return to. So it could have been worse for him.
Do you think Poppy's about to go bot with that Rift Herald?
Oh, of course. That was the. I would hope so. With the game plan drafted up by their coaches, and how we are able to get this spot lane ahead, as Wukong is also here. It is Kraken Slayer, Zeri. That is interesting. So now they know something's up, because now they know Zeri's holding the lave, which means that they're waiting for them to be aggressive. So very smart detail play there on the side of Luna. They aren't really expecting. They know that Kog'Maw and Lulu have been playing this lane very back the entire time. They're just waiting for their aggression to be used against them. Not really any responses top lane that can happen, because if they do decide to go in, of course, Victor can join the fight if he decides to ult in, but I don't think that's necessarily needed. Do you mind bringing up the dragon timer, good sir?
Certainly.
I do remember we took it around 14 minutes. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. We are right. It's about 20 minutes. We will have a Infernal Dragon to join us on this game. Of course, it is going to be much better for Ambition Wooper. If they are able to get this Infernal Dragon, they will secure it. And it will mean a lot of damage coming in with that Zeri W right there. It would also mean Victor is able to successfully solo anybody, including Malphite. Wukong just goes monkey mode. And Unresponse will go ahead and get that control word. Now is here, but I think he needs to back up. We'll drop a control ward there. I'm not sure the validity of that one. As now there is 4 bot. Rift Herald is summoned. This is potentially a humongous fight bot lane right now. Molly trying to do what he can, gets the Q off, will take the tower, and Luna just walk away. Okay.
I think Wukong is now backing with Dragon spawning soon. I guess he's trying to get his resets in.
No, that was Victor
Wow.
who backed, and he
Oh,
is
Victor.
TPing back into mid lane.
Yeah.
However, Lulu is backing
Victor-
very late here, as is Kog'Maw.
Well, they will still make it in time for it. It's 30 seconds from base. Yeah. They'll both make it just in time as soon as it spawns.
Would have been a
But they
different
won't
story.
be able to. It would have been a different story if they had backed with a minute left, but we were getting the Rift Herald instead. So, not really an angle for them to reset properly unless they instantly reset after they take everything right then and there. Unresponse, not really having any MR items yet, so it means Victor kind of hurts. You are Molly actually taking an extremely late reset means that he won't be able to make it here on time. Teleport top lane right now. Dragon is started. ZMG Luna need to push the button now if they want to do it, and they won't. That means a second Dragon goes to Ambition. Poppy popping the W, trying to get a speed up as much as possible. This is going to be a huge Wukong ultimate, and it won't be fighting a lot of damage. A huge Malphite response. Renata is there. Poppy is officially shut down, and this has gone horrible. As now it is going to be very hard for Luna to do much here. Wukong completely solos the Kog'Maw. Malphite will get whittled down. Molly trying his best to trade here as what he can, but I don't think it matters too much. That's 1 right now. The Cryo Phoenix Storm just to try and stop a bit. Ambition Wooper get a perfect fight going.
I will
And
say that
now
I'm confused on why Lulu split from Kog'Maw in that fight.
doesn't make any sense, in my opinion.
And she just used her ulti, escaping at the end there. So, I mean, that's kind of a wasted Lulu ult.
The Malphite also did not hit the Zeri with his ultimate, but I don't think he really could. Zeri basically untouched that fight. Just kind of allowed to free fall. Really just playing poorly there because you are wanting to keep this Kog'Maw alive. Kog'Maw now has Runans completed. I would hope to see Titanic come out. Potentially, because it is only Victor. Victor does have Death Cap. Or he doesn't. How much gold is Victor at? Wow, Victor does not have Death Cap. Ah, okay.
If you're
Thought he
Kog'Maw
would.
here, are you regretting taking Ghost rather than a defensive summoner? Since it couldn't help him get away from the Wukong at all in that fight.
Alun has been obsessed with Ghost due to another 80 carry and 0 mechanics. So he has just been constantly taking Ghost. We already have the exhaust for Lulu, so I guess they deem it not needed.
Theory in that fight, Kog'Maw should not have died that early. Lulu and Kog'Maw shouldn't ever separate in that kind of a scenario.
I agree.
Because if you keep the Kog'Maw alive there, I think the Malphite and Anivia will allow you to at least get a kill back.
Now a lot of damage coming in right here. Zeri ult moment has been popped. It is my favorite time of day. It's the Zeri moment. Renata has not flashed, but they are pinging like Renata has flashed. I think they're going to be utterly shocked when Renata flashes onto Lulu and cues her back into her teammates. But now, Thimble Winters have been completed. Haven't really seen this item much in solo queue. Don't really think the item has the same value as it once did, of course. But what do you guys think about Thimble Winter?
I think it's a fair
A
option
mouthful.
for
Fine.
mana-hungry champions. I'm not sure that it's the best on Malphite here, since it is on it. The shield does pop on immobilization only, which means his ultimate. However, in terms of getting mana, there are worse choices.
Yeah, I think something that would benefit here right now is going Frozen Heart third. Just trying to get as much as possible. I really think that Kog'Maw is needed right here to dominate this lane. Good reading there from Luna. They're able to walk away. And really much just Anivia freezing top lane, getting as much as she can CS-wise. Nice little lead there, comfortably, Pat. Nice little shutdown, of course. 700 gold lead right then and there. 1.2k in the jungle, 1100 in the top lane. I did not get to see bot lane real quick, thank you. 900 for the Zeri, and a actually no, about 60 gold difference between the supports. So 112 Lulu has the same amount of gold as a 005 Renata. As Victor is immediately going to ult in right here. That's a huge stun onto multiple. Alun is able to kind of walk away here freely, and Lulu is super low. That's going to be a flash ult, and it's not going to be enough. Ornn ultimate finds so many right there. The Berserk is huge, and Unresponse is fallen, and Luna take another fight where they don't reset properly, and they all fall. A 4-for-0 disengaged failure for ZMG Luna. And that means that Infernal Dragon after mid will be taken after Baron, and it's starting to get hard.
What is ZMG Luna doing wrong in these fights? That one seemed like it had a good shot. The Anivia wall zoned away everyone but the Wukong and the Ornn. The Wukong was kept from getting on the backline very early, and then you blink and the entirety of ZMG is gone.
They really didn't do was they saw Victor teleporting bot lane. They knew Ornn had to be in that area flanking. They didn't see the Ornn at all, right? So you had to assume that he was bot side. The fact that you still stood there for a good 30 seconds while Lulu was standing there with 88 with like 400 HP is the reason why they just went for that engage, because they see the low HP Lulu. She's basically out of the fight unless she ults herself. And if she's ulting herself, that means that it's a poor trade. But we will get a mid tower. We lose all the objectives. It's a sole point for Team Ambition Wooper. And finally, their first gold lead of the night. This is starting to get a little bit worrying for Luna, but they just need to calm themselves down, realize their strengths, and go ahead and be able to push what they can. Can't really 4-1 here. I think a better use of that time be making sure that Anivia can help clear this mid wave, especially. And even though Malphite is top, you can't really go for fights unless you're able to hit a massive Malphite ultimate. But I think this is the end of this mid tower, as now it's a good damage onto Ornn, but he is taking a lot of it, and that's a 600 damage Zeri W onto Anivia.
I will. I'm still waiting for the magic resist on Poppy.
Well, we have a pause. Okay, so now that we have time to talk about this, I do think magic resist is needed on Poppy. I think Force of Nature here is really good. Personally, I think right now it's an interesting spot. Especially, I think if Zeri is locked up, they are able to win the fight. The problem is getting Zeri locked up without trying to focus the Ornn or Victor on the flank as well. Especially since these Renata ultimates haven't really done the true purpose of Renata ultimate, but just keeping them in that place so it's easier to hit skill shots. Right now, it is going to be a bit problematic for them. I do have hope in them, and that they can go ahead and beat this, but it will be hard.
So
I don't think.
if you're sitting in comms with ZMG right now, you're telling them to just turtle, just wait to scale, quit losing fights.
Yes, I would tell them if you think you could take a fight, realize that you have to hit Zeri and Victor at the same time in Wombo, right? You have to be able to make sure that you can't really take when you engage with Malphite here. Let's think about this logically, right? When you engage with the Malphite here, you're only ulting for the Zeri, right? That should be your main target because Victor can get easily trapped by Anivia, right? So you have to Malphite ultimate onto Zeri, Anivia flash to stun, follow up stun, and use her entire burst combo. Hope that that's enough to get her to retreat, and then have Kog'Maw artillery maybe confirm the kill. But if Zeri is able to turn it back, I think the problem with it is that she does have Kraken Slayer as well, so it's a more damage-oriented Zoe, and it's not a sustain. I'm just going to heal back up with shield bow, and I'm just going to run around very fast. But it's starting to get a bit problematic as Team Ambition Wooper is now going to go for resets. They have their golds. Zeri is just going to walk around taking jungle camps. Ornn pushing back up top. Victor going to split bot, try and catch up on the CS lead. Wukong is also bot with Renata.
The
Bit
lag here
questionable
is
on the
fairly normal.
positioning.
This happens after pauses occasionally.
Oh yeah, I know.
Quick question, you
As
were saying?
oh no, I just kind of questioned the Renata Wukong just hanging out bot lane. Only Malphite reality would be the answer to this, as now they know for sure that there is two bots, so Malphite's not going to even walk up to question it. Really bad idea though for Luna is the lack of vision, kinda, and their only vision that they just had was just spotted out, really. As also is immediately going to get Renata ultimate right now. That's going to be huge damage. He is forced to find his stopwatch, and Victor is able to save his support's life. That was a lot of resources used for a non-kill on Renata. I really don't know that this was the idea, as now Malphite with no ultimate is just going to flash is not enough, and Team Ambition Wooper are going to go ahead and take this bottom tier 2 tower. Nivea still topside though, just to try and hold off Ornn, but it's a 3v4, and right now Poppy is just not in a position to stop them right now. Wukong taking a lot of damage. Kog'Maw doing his best for what he can, but it's not enough. You try your best and you don't succeed still. They will try and stop the inhib from being taken, and they do, actually. So still a small win there, but it's a 6,000 gold lead on the side of Team Ambition Wooper. And this game is slowly starting to get a bit out of control. Oh boy. Do you think they have a good shot here, Als?
I think it's looking very rough. However, I have been forced to eat my words before this week when ZMG Legends threw the first half of their second game and was down 8,000 gold, but managed to come out of that game with a victory. So I am loath to say on air that I think this game is over.
I will say though, as Ornn levels up and starts upgrading those items, I think it's also gonna get a little bit less lucky for ZMG.
ZMG as well. The sweeper was on the entire time, and War just takes the huge chunk of damage, almost completely one-shot by the Victor. This is the point where it's starting to be make or break. And now this is really bad. Lulu is just sitting there at so little HP. Beanie is going to be immediately ran down, and that's going to be the ultimate, followed up by Malphite. Just try to confirm a kill there, and it won't happen. Here is the Zeri moment as they just go in. Wukong is just doing what he can on the backline, wreaking havoc, killing them all. Alune cannot do it by himself. Molly trying to do what he can, flashing right then and there. The egg has been popped, and Luna has been completely aced. And at 31 minutes, this may be it for Luna. Very, very unfortunate, as the game will slowly start to extinguish in our eyes. They will get the mid inhibitor, choose not to get the bottom inhibitor. I think that's a mistake. But that is Infernal Soul, so now this game just got even harder. Right now, just pretty much the weak side has not been working out for them. And really, it just feels like it's not going to plan. Now you have to see what you are able to be forced to do. And now you're just in a spot where you were already taking bad picks. Do you potentially just throw your head to the wall, see what sticks, and see if you can do anything else? Or do you just recognize your mistakes and you realize you can't do it, so you just don't go for it?
It's a best of 3, so technically after this game, it's 0-0.
True.
What lessons does ZMG learn from this game, both in pick ban and in game, to move forward into
Pick
games
ban,
2 and potentially 3?
we have to. I think pick ban, we just ban the Vayne instead, right? But it's a big problematic with how you can't. You either choose to ban the Vayne or you choose to ban the Zeri, right? So you are trading for one evil for another evil as they do engage right then and there onto Kog'Maw. He was behind his entire tanks, and it will be a 2-for-0. Big damage there onto Victor in return. Anivia is the only hope possible for them not to lose this game. Instant Victor teleport bot lane, which was kind of unneeded. Divine Sunder are trying to do what they can. It is going to be 2 inhibitors down. Mid lane may potentially fall. There will be a nice little engage onto Molly. He will be able to Zhonya's in time, but it won't matter. He will fall 18-6 right now. The final scoreline, as it seems to be, Team Ambition just stat padding right now. And we'll go ahead and end game 1 against Luna in a 33-30 perfect ending for them. They were able to scale efficiently, just punish the extremely bad picks that was made, and now we go into game 2 with Luna's backs against the wall. Actually, that means I must take my leave, as I have to go ahead and do draft for them. I will allow you guys to talk about the games and talk about how we felt everything went, but have a good one for right now. I'll be right back.
Thank you for joining us, Glors.
Thank you for joining us.
Well, as he said, that couldn't have gone much worse than it did.
I feel like their laning phase was very good. Like, I think everyone ended laning phase ahead. It's just when they started team fighting together, there was just a lot of disconnect and they weren't fully utilizing their comp correctly.
Glors began to touch on it before leaving. Do you think there's any world in which ZMG forgoes one of the early support bans in favor of banning both Vayne and Zeri?
They banned the. Wait, can you pull up the op.g or the draft link?
I do not have the draft link any further, unfortunately. Yeah, I do not have it anymore. I believe it was Nami and Morgana were the two bans, the two support bans.
Oh yeah, because they banned Nami, Vayne, Morgana. I honestly feel like maybe like the Morgana. I feel like they need to ban Zeri if they don't have a correct answer for her with the lockdown. But they could just add more CC to the team to help deal with the Zeri. Because I felt like in that fight, it's just I just felt like Kog'Maw was never really able to pop off in those fights, just due to positional errors.
If your pardon me, forget the name. If you're Ambition Wooper here, do you have any notes that you need to take away from game one here with things that they need to change?
In the I don't know, because like it's just like their early was kind of weak, but they just were able to hold it until they could scale. So I mean, the Victor got what repeat ganked like early on and died like 2 times in a row.
Yes, he did. He did get Hashinshined in the early game, but nothing came of it because, in part, because both of those kills went on to the Poppy. Well, as
Maybe honestly, in that game, they really needed to try to get a pick before the actual fight. With like you have a Nivea wall and a Poppy. I think you just kind of sit in a bush, wait for someone to walk too far, and then you just kind of quickly try to end someone's life.
they did start trying that at the end, the problem seemed to be that they just didn't have enough damage to do it. Because by the time they got around to getting picks, they
Well, the
just
people
got blown up
picking
by the
towards
Wukong.
well, the people who were trying to get picks towards the end were the two kind of tanks per se. It was the Malphite and the Poppy that really were trying to get the ganks later on. So I feel like it was just like earlier on. I think you just kind of rotate the Nivea with the Poppy and try to do some cheese strats.
Well, we shall see what Glors and Chino cook up to try and claw back game 2 here. It appears that the teams are determining who is going to be going on which side. Of course, with the loss, it is ZMG's choice. They have chosen blue. So they will be taking a couple of minutes to get everything sorted before we get into draft for game 2. With that being said, we are going to take a short break here while they get everything sorted. Don't go anywhere, folks. Game 2 will be starting in just a couple of minutes.
I wanna taste your content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption, breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Just wanna be carefree lately, yeah. Just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Count 'em like the four-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2 here of this best of 3 for Week 2 of Aegis Guardians League between ZMG Luna and TA Wooper. ZMG did lose that first game, so they have selected to play on blue side here. We will be getting into draft very shortly. Both teams have signaled that they are ready to get started here. Although it appears that there are some technical issues, so we will be holding briefly.
Do you think drafting is going to change this game?
Well, I think ZMG has a chance at getting some of the priority picks that they let go over to TA Wooper in Game 1. As you mentioned during the break, they got the Zeri, they got the Ornn, they got the Wukong, the Victor, of course, important in competitive play, although perhaps less so in solo queue. So I'm wondering here if ZMG Luna's coaches take this time to reevaluate some of those bans or decide to pick away some of the champs that TA Wooper performed so well on. We do see that pick ban has started here, so it looks like both teams have figured out their technical issues.
I know one of full big picks currently is Mordekaiser. I wonder if you just, instead of putting on like Malphite duty, if you put on something like a Mordekaiser, because I feel like from last game, Swole could get a decent lead off of the enemy top laner.
We do see the Zeri ban. Not entirely surprising given what Glors said as game 1 closed. Are you at all surprised that they tipped their hand this early, that the Zeri was going to be off the table, or do you think that was a foregone conclusion?
I mean, I don't think they were gonna put a loon on it, so I don't really think there's any like advantage of holding the Zeri ban.
We do see the Nami ban, which leaves the Vayne open. Of
Makes me
course,
wonder if they plan to pick Vayne or if they plan to pick something like Lucian or Caitlyn that might be able to punish an early Vayne. Oh,
instead we see the first pick Wukong taken away from TA Wooper. I'm not sure about that one. Yes, the Wukong was a strong pick, but I'm not sure that that was the #1 priority there. What do you think?
kind of disagree because I think like right now in a lot of comp play, Wukong is a almost pick or ban champion. It looks like they will respond with the Volibear. I think the other thing with the Wukong is it can be flex, top, and jungle.
That
Same
is
with
fair.
Volibear, but
We see the Ezreal here, not one of the champions that Glorsnax mentioned as being TA Wooper's ADC's favorites, but a fairly safe champion with good damage output.
like one of Wooper's strategies is like they may give up some of the early game, but it seems like they do have a preference of just kind of late game scaling champs.
At some point, then, do you think we could see ZMG Luna pivot into a very early game focused team, try to snowball? Never mind, they pick Vayne. Not exactly the early game focused champion that you would be looking to see if you were trying to outspeed TA Wooper here.
I do appreciate that pick though, because a lot of the times with Ezreals, depending on how the lane is, obviously they do play a bit safe and plan to scale. So having another scaler bot lane like a Vayne, especially a Vayne Sona, will allow the bot lane on Luna's side to maybe play fairly safe so that they may scale into late game.
Now the Sona here is of course a little bit vulnerable to hard engage. We could see a Nautilus or some other heavy support here to punish that, but instead we see the Karma, another enchanter to balance out the lanes.
I do previously in some of the practices recently, the Luna support has mentioned wanting to play Sona. So I think that he mentioned that if Sona reaches, I think, 25 minutes into the game, it has like a fairly high win rate, just based off of stats.
Well, if that's the case, Alun had better hope that they can push out this game to 25 minutes and bring back a win here. Desperately needing to get something under their belt to stay relevant in this early AGL season.
I do like the Victor ban. I'm gonna assume that Warren. Yep, there's the Warren pick. I believe that they're gonna pick Warren, and then as I was saying that.
And
Oh,
as
there's
you
the
called out
Mordekaiser pick. Oh my gosh, I called it. You can roll back the tape. I called it.
Yeah, no need to roll back the tape. I do remember. Now, what kind of mid laner would fit well into this comp, do you think?
Uh,
That Mollywops plays.
I think they do need something fairly early game because right now their team's looking a lot like a late game scaling. I think they need something that will complement and maybe get the Wukong fed. Okay, that's a Yasuo.
Certainly complements the Wukong, although complements the Wukong better post 6, which isn't exactly super early game. What will we see here from TA Wooper to match that mid lane pick?
To be honest, I was not expecting the Yasuo pick, but here we are. And
Vigar.
there's Vigar kind of cucks a Yasuo, not gonna lie.
You say that. However, we do have, unfortunately, the hype video from Island Boys in their match versus ZMG Luna last week, where their Yasuo rather handily took care of ZMG Luna's Vigar. So all hope is not lost for Mollywops here.
Kind of interested because both the mid laner and top laner play Mordekaiser. However, I do think that's probably Mordekaiser top, Yasuo mid.
Any surprises out of this draft for you? After having watched Game 1 and after having heard Glorsnax's initial reaction to how Game 1 ended up, is there anything here that you weren't expecting from ZMG?
I was not expecting the Yasuo pick. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting something long range, maybe pokey damage, like AP, but no.
More of a Xerath or a Vel'Koz, perhaps?
Just I know they were thinking about Casio earlier, which is also like game scaling, but like I don't know. I was expecting AP and I got a Yasuo, so obviously I was wrong on a lot of counts.
We do see it confirmed that Swole Pingu is taking that Mordekaiser to the top lane. No fancy lane swaps here, at least in Champ Select.
I will say though, I do believe that Mordekaiser does quite well into Orin. I think there was like a pro game in LCS, I believe, where honestly I can't remember the name, but someone picked a Mordekaiser into an Orin and kind of did very well in the game. And then no one was able to really answer the Mordekaiser.
A late game Mordekaiser will do a great job of cutting through this front line that TA Wooper has put together with the Ornn and Volibear, assuming he doesn't get put in too deep of a hole.
I will. Vigar Cage might be very huge in these team fights because it might stop all of blue sides engage.
It is possible, though, that it becomes a game of chicken. Does the cage come out first, or does the Mordekaiser ult come out first to take that Vigar out of the fight?
Gonna kind of go along to how early game goes and how Yasuo does into Vigar and how Mordekaiser does into Ornn early on. Because I do believe that Ezreal Karma will outpoke a Vayne Sona.
Absolutely, especially with Sona's abysmally small health pool. It does not take much for that champion to be forced to recall. If you're ZMG here, are you at all concerned by the fact that your main tank is going to be the one who's going to be disappearing from the fight for 7 to 10 seconds at a time?
I think yes and no, because I do believe that if Wukong can get the perfect Wukong ulti with the Yasuo ult, that's a very strong combo that will be potentially game changing. And then Yasuo does still have Windwall to kind of block out Ezreal and Vigar damage, and well, Karma.
Now, I haven't had this interaction in a while. Does Windwall block the second part of Ornn's ultimate?
Considered a projectile.
Then yes, it should. I am getting confirmation from my folks here in the studio that that does block. Well, do you have any final thoughts here before we get into the lovely 3-minute spectator delay? Looking
I
at
think
this
it's going
draft.
to depend on how top and mid do early on and whether or not Vayne can keep safe. Because honestly, the scariest person on red side, I believe, will be Vigar just because of cages. But I think that if they are able to play correctly, it should not be a big issue.
Alrighty, well, with that sage advice in mind, we will go to a short break. When we come back, game 2 of this best of 3 between ZMG Luna and TA Wooper. Stay right here, folks. We'll be right back. Sorry about the delay getting into game there, folks. Unfortunately, These programs are not perfect and decided not to like us very much. However, we have gotten into game 2 here. Both teams have come out onto the Rift.
I just watched a Vigar walk right into a Wukong, but you know, he only lost half his health bar. It's fine.
He already got 3 stacks. The game's basically over.
It looks like
Was
both junglers will start bot side.
Yep. The Vigar was forced to pop one of those potions early.
Howdy. Sorry
Welcome
about.
back to the cast, Glores.
Well, thank you very much, kind sir. I did see that Vigar took a horrible trade as he was ran down by Wukong.
Certainly not many ways to spin that positively, except for the fact that he did get 3 early stacks of that phenomenal evil.
I mean, true, but I do think that a good point of it here is if Yasuo is able to pilot this correctly against Vigar, he'll be able to do a lot, right? Like keep Vigar stuck in his own cage, and then decide when he is able to go ahead and do this. As now we have a fight top lane, and now it's going to be a lot of good damage there. Passive was procced on Mordekaiser. Eats the Q bear, 115 damage right now. Ezreal Karma is doing a lot right then and there. But just like that, saying it, Yasuo was able to eat away correctly. And now it's going to be a lot of damage onto Mordekaiser here. Is he going to be able to get enough? Oh my god, he leaves him at 20 HP! He does not go for the flash auto. As now Sona, I think, needs to start W here, start healing up more. I think it'll be better for them as that goes on, as now Vigar will be able to hit his full combo onto Yasuo. Yasuo still hitting him with the wind wall. As now Sona is just kind of healing back all the damage that Ezreal is doing. And what are your guys' thoughts on this draft?
Like I said early, it's going to come down to if Mordekaiser and Yasuo can get a substantial lead early, and if Vayne and Sona can play safe enough not to int into Ezreal Karma.
I'm not in love with it personally. It feels like it relies too heavily on perfect execution across the map and across the whole team for it to work as it was drawn up. I think on paper it's a comp with a lot of strength, but it's also very vulnerable.
Oh, well, speaking of getting mid ahead, Vigar still choosing not to reset yet, and Volibear is here, but Wukong will find Volibear, as now Wukong will be taking a really bad trade. Gonna go ahead and walk onto him, but Volibear is level 4, so he is ahead of that Wukong. Wolf's still not done yet for response.
Like bot lane is able to sustain now that Sona has her heal.
I think it's a lot easier now as Mordekaiser's going to be taking this trade top lane. Could potentially be damning. Is this going to be where we see it? First blood. The flash is there. Chooses not to flash. Follow him. And is able to do a lot of damage there. Karma forced to flash herself as well. Bot lane trade ending in the favor of ZMG. Volibear just now sitting here in the bush. Looking pretty. As now Vayne Condemn can stop it. And so can Sona, movement speed slow, is able to just pock the AoE passive constantly. Mordekaiser is here in the top lane. Ornn potentially going for the wombo onto it right then and there. He will W right there, but as we see it from the perspective of the jungler, there is going to be a gank from Unresponse. There is no flash. Is it going to be enough? No. Response holds his flash as well, and Mordekaiser is playing with God.
I will say though, if Mordekaiser is able to keep the wave at least either towards his side or in the middle, it seems that he's able to really punish his Ornn every time he goes to get CS.
Unresponse actually trying to go for a wave proxy here type moment, but Ornn will just go ahead and take the lost waves right now. CS difference bot lane is only about 2, as we have been able to go ahead and handily decide that. It's not going to be much damage there. Karma poke is just a bit much, but Zona should be able to out heal it soon. Dragon is instantly going to be started. It is a mountain dragon. Yasuo is moving. He does have the push bot. But I don't think that they are really in a position able to stop this. They realize that bot lane is missing, so now they know for sure that Dragon is being done. As Mountain Dragon will go to the side of Ambition Wooper.
Though, since you do have a somewhat weak side bot lane with the Vayne Sona, like a scaling bot lane, I do believe that just giving up the first like Drake or two is not terrible.
Oh no, I think it's perfectly okay. I think it's a part of the comp and what needs to happen, right? We have to recognize that if Vayne is not extremely ahead, we need to kind of go ahead and realize that that's not going to be a nice little engage right there onto Yasuo, on to Veigar. Somebody call the editor for Island Boys. That is another montage play.
Say though, that
Inside
video
joke.
that Island if it was made was actually kind of nice.
Okay, Molly now in a lot of trouble here, forced to flash away. Did see the volley bear though. He did spot him in lane. I guess just didn't respect it. So he does have to flash away though, but Veigar can't sustain this much for longer. He is no mana.
Not enough
Already
for Cage right
used
now.
his teleport. Just enough for a Cage, I think.
Yep, just regened as soon as I finished that sentence because I have good timing.
Now, Ornn taking a lot of damage there. That is exactly what you want. Unstoppable, by the way, may not save your life this time, Ishan. That's going to be the Ornn Horn sounded, but it doesn't matter, as now the Mordekaiser will flash and secure it first blood. And now Mordekaiser, in potentially a world of hurt, is able to use the EOA effectively. Will instantly drop back. No W needed. And Mordekaiser claims first blood in this game against Ornn.
Just it was just waiting to happen, especially after all those close calls early.
And a nice reset from Molly here actually is forcing Veigar to lose a lot more here unless he has jungle attention, as that is a lot of poke right then and there onto Ezreal, onto poor Sona. Just eating the mantra Q there is just so much right now, but has the fairy charm and the tier, so should be able to expect much more healing later on into the game, as she does try and go her best to trade back with it. But not something you can really do unless Wukong is here, and you have 6. But just as I say that, we have 6 now right there in the top lane again, the same fight. He is just able to take so much beating there with the Mordekaiser shield correctly stopping the Ornn Brittle.
It does feel like in this game, Unresponse is doing a lot more power farming as Wukong jungle. Do you expect him to start ganking mid or top, or maybe bot?
I expect him to gank bot here because we have 4 coming down. They are spotted on wards though, so a bit ambitious, but I don't necessarily think that that play would have worked out.
Despite having spent more time in the jungle, Unresponse is down 12 CS.
Oh,
I do.
this is potentially a nice little gank right here mid. That's going to be the ultimate following it up right then and there. Veigar forces a flash away. The second Wukong will find it, and that's a lot of damage onto Molly right now. Is he able to dash away, do as much as he can? Flashing forward, it would be a trade for 1 back. Ezreal going to go ahead and arcane shift in, but that is a lot of Veigar sums wasted. In the end, a 1-for-1. As Wukong will claim that as well. That's the Mordekaiser Death Realm called. This could potentially be a lot of damage as Sol Pengu is going to try and do as much as he can. The flush is there, the shield. Make sure that he won't fall. Ornn Horn is ready, though. You have to be careful if you are Pengu. He cannot walk up. If he walks up, he needs to play this perfectly. The Ornn Horn is sounded, and he misses it completely. Ishan just completely griefed that. Oh man, that would have been dangerous.
Calculated. I'm sure it was calculated, all calculated.
Oh, of course. As now the
Soul
second
just
dragon.
knew that Ornn would miss his ult. It's fine.
Oh no, Molly. Fun fact: that vision, that control ward that they have seen 4 times now mid is still up. So I guess, lasting vision for the
They're
side.
they're just playing professional league. You know, you walk through the bush, you ignore the control ward. As long as it's still there, you know they haven't moved the control ward somewhere else.
True.
You know where it's at, and you know
You
the game from
control
top
ward
side.
it yourself.
There you go.
You assert dominance with your control wards. As now it is Karma going to be walking up here onto Sona. Condemn instantly used.
I don't
And
think
by the
that was
way,
a good condemn. That tether was already broken by the time she triggered it.
I think, fun fact, that Condemn can trigger Yasuo ult. Which is interesting when you think about it. As
Starting with
Ripper ult
pretty
is
early risk.
actually taken here. Very early solo by Wukong. Able to really do as much as they can just to survive in the spot lane. Sona getting those new passive procs, which means that she'll get like a ton of ult cooldown. As unresponsive top, Yishan is in a lot of trouble again. There is no Ornhorn to be sounded this time, my friend. There is no flash either. You're just sent back to the Shadow Realm. As they do trade the top lane forward, they are immediately recognizing that they had no shot at getting that dragon. They're going to instantly trade it for the top side. Unresponsive taking the correct play, going for the counter jungling. And now a lot of damage onto this tower is going to go ahead and be first tower due to just Mordekaiser's items straight ahead. But now this is the instant response bot lane. This is what they feared as soon as it happens. You have to start running away now. Molly's now seeing that there is a Volibear there, now seeing the Vigar, and ZMG respond effectively and won't get tower dove.
I will. If I was red side here, I honestly would have tried to freeze the wave towards my side to force the Vayne and Sona to walk up to get CS. Because currently, Vayne's just been able to kind of catch the waves as it crashes into the turret.
Okay. Lygarde just... Okay.
That was an interesting teleport. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what he was thinking there.
He saved himself from the towers. Red buff is now going to be started right now, but it is possibly an unresponse angle. He is nearby. I think Volibear will be able to secure it perfectly fine. He will. Unresponse now a second too late, as Volibear is now going to go ahead and gank mid here. Has the perfect angle. This is a bit problematic for Molly. Able to flash away, use the tornado perfectly. The second Volibear gank mid results in the second flash use, 5 minutes apart. Now, Ezreal does have the Triforce already. Personally, I'm not a fan of the Triforce Ezreal. I am a fan of Eclipse Ezreal. I think it does more damage. It's easier to proc. But then again, Triforce's inflated numbers as Unresponse is actually going to find onto Volibear here. Instant Yasuo ultimate in response. There's the cage trying to stop what they can. Unresponse is going in humongous amounts. The E, the final Q auto will confirm another one. BD is running from his life, but you can't run fast enough. Yasuo, with his Master Swordsman, will claim the life of Beanie. And a 2-for-0 Luna victory. Okay. As now it's actually going to be another flash there used in the top lane, and Swopengu is just that flash, baby. He will be able to barely escape, choosing not to flash forward to go for it. And now Sona having a lot of cooldown now, just able to do a lot more healing effectively. Did have PTA procced on her, but they are just being constantly shoved in, recognize that they can't really go in as much. But it is going to be a mid-tower fallen. All other lanes are winning, my friends. You just have to stay safe.
Like what I said earlier, I would have liked Ezreal Karma to force the Vayne and Sona to leave their turret, to be honest.
Oh, we have a nice little engage right onto here. Now Swopengu is immediately going to go in onto Volibear instead. This is potentially really bad for him. Chemtech has been used. He will flash away Swopengu, my friend. A bit aggressive, but Chemtech Volibear will fall off. As now Beanie is instantly going to get engaged on, forced to flash out of it. But now here is Karma actually potentially could be damning for him. Everfrost has been used. This is going to be a huge root, and Karma Ignite will secure 1 kill. Ezreal flushes forward. He wants the kill. He won't get it. A loon saved by the heal, saved by the bell. And that is a 1-for-1 total across the map, as now Vigar is instantly walking in front of Mordekaiser. Will the pull hit him? Yes, he will. There is no cage. The Everfrost is your only hope, my friend. Can you run fast enough? Oh, I sure hope you can. Back to your fountain you go, Vigar.
And we do
Kinda
have about
unlucky.
35 seconds to Drake. That was a bad time to die.
I will say also, with the Karma gank mid, Karma was the one to pick up the kill, so Vigar didn't really get much out of that.
And now the Karma poke is starting to become less and less effective as this game goes on. A lot easier for them, as Karma knows that a Wukong is here, though. Is just going to keep testing her luck. Will be forced to back off. And that is a Cloud Dragon on the side of Luna will be taken. Ornn is able to secure top lane. Ezreal Arcane shifts. Ornn's not able to secure it fully yet.
It will fall with this wave, though, almost
I
certainly.
think it will fall with this wave, yeah. It will fall. Now, Herald coming back up, another major objective that Luna can go ahead and do. Interesting things to note about the gold lead. Thank you very much. 2,000 in the top lane, 1,000 in the mid lane. 80 carries just about even, as Ornn has now realized that he's in a very bad spot, and all of a sudden, my friend, there are everyone there for you. And now Ishan may have actually been saved by Vayne, but now it's just going to be way too much damage, and the Ornn Horn will never come for you, my friend. Sona ultimate makes sure that he is stuck in place, and that is an instant Rift Herald start right now. A much better early game here for the side of Luna. Able to get so much more. Teleport there by Mordekaiser. Make sure that no bot lane will fall. And now Volibear is mid. Unresponse getting the second Herald again. And this is a much better game so far for Luna. Would really depends here on how Alune and Sona are able to position into these later fights. Volibear is here. He wants to tower dive.
He was trying to go over that wall, wasn't he?
Well, we don't talk about it.
Sometimes walls are a bit too thick,
I think he's gonna try again.
I think
Mordekaiser on the flank here, though. Actually, potentially could see 2 here. They do see 2 too late. Ornn has been sounded on response. The Clone is just taking all the damage for him, and that's now 1 kill. Sona has fallen. Mordekaiser kept the Volibear in the ultimate, and it's not enough, as that's 1 gone right here. Volibear ultimate is here. The huge potential damage there. Mordekaiser doing what he can. That's 1 traded kill right now. Tower is still alive. Yomswell's moment, he gets up to a man, unleashed, and now this is going to be Vayne in a lot of trouble. Can she survive? No stun hit yet. And my goodness, a lost fight for Luna turns the other way. Ambition Wooper bit off more than they can chew at the end, going for it, and they will fall because of it. And now Molly, in a potentially damning position, is going to stop the charge from going through, trying to do what he can as Yasuo. I think Vigar just really wants this Sona, or the Vayne, I'm sorry, as now he's going to get stunned up and locked up, exhausted immediately. Sona had just finished responding. That's so rude of you to kill her instantly. As now you have to back again. They are just waiting for people to show up so they can replenish these numbers.
Sona, they should be able to slowly heal back up. It has now hit 20 minutes. The odds of them just outscaling with the Sona heals are increasing. I will say, though, Vayne is currently 0-0-3. They will want to eventually get some of these kills onto the main.
True.
Oh, look, Vayne has a 5 CS lead. Or, well, it's still dwindling now that I've said that, but,
She has a 600 gold deficit. That's what she has today.
And Ninja Tabby has been completed on Ezreal. We had a word for that in my day. Of course, we can't say it anymore. This guy sounds a little insecure about his Ezreal. Not going for any cooldown or damage, you know, but what do I know? Wukong now instantly going to get sped. Instantly caught out by the Karma because they have 2 wards in that bush, so they instantly knew it was a good Shirley as their response, but now Dragon is coming up soon, as if we can get that up soon. I believe it's a minute and a half away. Minute
exactly.
yeah. Minute
Unfortunately,
exactly.
our current
And this is going to be
doesn't...
a dive here. Ornn wasted the unstoppable and then hit the pillar, and now this is just going to be a dead Ornn.
And it does go over to the Vayne this time.
Vayne is able to secure that. They will lose mid tower for it, but at this point, it's not really bad. You can instantly get 2 towers bot here. You just respawn across the map, actually. They choose not to go for the dragon setup. They're instantly going to go for this Karma. Ezreal went top, and now they're all going top. It's a small little race here between who can get the top. I really don't agree with this.
I think we just
He's going to get the 3rd charge off here.
They get 3 charges off of it here. Wukong just does the dragon by himself. He knows everybody's top. And yeah, it's a lot of damage there potentially. Could have actually gotten that tower. I think we still will get the tower actually. With the 3rd charge, can we? Oh my god, Ornn is teleporting into the middle of it. May have just damned it, and now Mordekaiser and Wukong are alone. This is a huge fight potentially. 4 is there, but there is no Ezreal. Ornn is sounded. Only hits Mordekaiser. Blue team will secure it right then and there. And Bestie is just in the death realm, and he won't last. You won't last, says Swole Pengwu, as he will try and survive. Will trade his life, but no Vigar, and Ornn gets the shutdown. My goodness.
I think the blue team didn't fall off there. I think if they had waited around the Mordekaiser, they may have been able to get more.
I think, yeah, with the Wukong ultimate there, you had Sona ult coming back. Oh, Sona ult was used. But you had Vayne and Yasuo ultimate. I think that could have been a potentially bigger fight. But right now, still good to go. Sona is already having that Moonstone. Able to clear those wards effectively. Test here fully stacked up. Now, a Guinsoo's already completed for Vayne, so she is power spiking so much. And now, really, at this point, this is a potential first victory for Luna here.
Come down to how well they can close out this game.
It really does, because you will lose this game eventually to scaling. Remember, Vigar can make as many mistakes as he wants and still be a threat later into the game, but if you make a mistake once, you're gone. As now Yasuo will find the Blast Cone to safety. Are going to be warding up here. Mordekaiser is not here yet. Unresponse has a potential flank onto multiple here. They will actually just give up this mid tower. They are just giving up objectives for free here. They think that they are at such a massive disadvantage yet. I think if Wukong potentially went in with Yasuo and Sona Flash forward and all that, I think it potentially could have been really good. But Volibear is bot, so they are going to go ahead and get some Baron Vision. It's a tower traded. Of course, it's not the end of the world, but bot lane inhibitor is still barely alive. I think it is like 300 HP really quick as we can go ahead and see. Yeah, it was like 100 HP, and it's regen back up to 500. So it will stop regenning at a point because it can't go back past its certain destructed point. As now it looks like
HP.
It looks like it's actually just a nice little pick here onto Vigar, and that's going to be the Flash Horde. He is condemned into the wall, but the knockup stops it. The Vigar ultimate does no damage to a Loon. And now Vigar dead again. This is a potential Baron angle. There is no Ornn in this fight. It is a 4v3. You only waste Wukong ultimate. You still have Sona. You still have Vayne. And you still have Yasuo. And this is Baron called right now for Luna.
Since you do have the Sona healing, so I do think that it's a fairly...
Sona actually stepped in front of the wind wall, so she did take it. And now potentially could be lost right here. Ishan taking a lot of damage. 3,000 HP, 2,000 HP. There's the Volibear ultimate. Wukong will secure it. And now Volibear is pretty much condemned to his own death. The fail. Win for Luna. My goodness, they've gone ahead and done it again!
And now with the Baron buff, the Mordekaiser split push is now very strong. Like,
Sorry about that.
are they gonna just push 5, or are they gonna do the 4-1 split? It looks like they will
It's a
continue the
4-1.
4-1 split.
Mordekaiser here does have the Spectre's Cowl, so you will be able to sustain Vigar completely in that cage. Going for the Spirit Visage, of course, one of the few items, defensive items, that is good on Mordekaiser. But it is a Death Bush, baby! That's gonna be... No backs called. Response is here. The flash forward. That's up to 2. Ezreal will go ahead and be able to flash away. Run for his life, but it won't matter, my friend. You're in the death realm. And Luna with the cheese bush is able to find 2. They will get this mid lane for it. Vigar is still top right now. If they potentially go in, Wooper may find this to be a failure. That's going to be Vigar backing off right now as much as he can. The cannon minion just doing so much. Oh, discovered way too late by the Mordekaiser, which means that the outer second one will fall. Dragon coming up soon in about 30 seconds.
20
means
seconds,
that
yep.
bot lane will still be here as a factor, but I don't really think that you can go for it. That means it's triple movement speed for Wukong, Mordekaiser, Vayne, and Sona. Movement speed is not an overrated item. Or an overrated stat, as some would say. As now the third dragon will be confirmed in, that means it is a 32-minute soul angle. And if that happens, I really don't know how you're able to stop this, because of the ult cooldown that happens with old Wind Soul is still there. It's just the soul now is 2 cannons are just barraging this top lane tower from outer. Just no possible reach there from Ornn unless Mordekaiser completely backs up himself, giving up all control of it. Ezreal gonna secure the Q secure onto the red buff, make sure that he can have as much damage as possible. Phantom Dancer has been completed on the side of Vayne. Really, not really much attack speed items you can go on Ezreal, so of course the build does become more expensive as the game goes on. Slow little gold lead there. Support is a massive gold difference, but that's just support. Mid lane, it's a much easier time, 1,000 gold. 4,500 gold top lane difference, and a 2,000 gold difference in the jungle. So over half of this gold lead total is just purely top lane alone right now, as Mordekaiser is almost 5 items in at 28 minutes, and make that another one because he's just found another little boy in the top lane. That's fucking...
Bye,
I'm going to
Tiger.
erase that, as now it is going to be an
Bye,
instant
Karma.
lock up right then and there. And Ezreal just walks back in, but the condemned goes through the wall. It won't matter. Alone fights another 3 for nothing in this fight right now. And Luna, with just a numbers advantage of 2 to 3, is able to slowly take care of this game. That's going to be the engage by Molly. Instantly has the flash away response. Just wants the tower. Will take it. No one else has come yet to his aid. Sona is there just to speed them up so they can go ahead and crack this mid lane. Top lane inhibitor tower is also being cracked. And I really think that a Team Ambition Wooper had their backs against the wall here. There's not much else that they can do, as now it is maybe the time for them to call it. It's going to be a nice little engage right there on to Volibear. There is the Vigar. Can he do enough? Vigar gets pulled in. That means he loses his confidence in this fight so far. Vigar, W, and Q do a lot. Volibear ultimate will go in right then and there. On response to redeem us what he can. It's still a lot of healing. Mordekaiser pull fights 3. That's going to be a huge stun right then and there. Mordekaiser death realm will find another. And Luna! Quadra kill for Alone! The Vayne pick work! And they will go ahead and take their first game ever of Aegis!
Respect for Loon not going for that pentakill.
Oh my goodness. GG! We're going to game 3!
Now, if we had the rights for it, would be the time when we would pull some silver scrapes, but we do not have the rights for it, so you folks at home will have to live without. What a turnaround from game one, though. For a complete change of pace, ZMG looked like they were in control the whole time here. What
I do
did y'all
believe.
change in
I
draft?
do.
Oop, we have lost our friend on the desk. Glorsnax
He said
has
he has to go back and do the draft for game 3.
the Discord bug post league
Yep.
ending meant that I did not hear that.
I will say though, I have a feeling Mordekaiser will not be getting through next game.
There we go. Yes, there's no way that they let that through again, right? With how dominant he was in that game. Do you think that ZMG will be able to uh, repeat that incredible turnaround in game 2? In game 3, do you think they'll be able to do it again?
I think if they put top on another carry, they have a good chance, especially since, like you kind of saw in the last 2 games, jungle really does not go top very often. So I think that if Swell Pingu can have his way with the enemy top laner, he will create a lead for himself, especially since what's the wait what Wooper's team tends to play very weak side top.
All right, we are going to be doing inverted teams once again.
It seems uh um that Luna will be able to get blue side again.
Are you surprised that Team Wooper or Team Ambition Wooper is choosing to take the red side here
Oh,
after having one game won handily on blue?
I wonder if they're going to change up their strat for top lane. I wonder because you really typically take red side if you want to be getting counter pick. So I'm curious to see if they try to counter top or mid.
However, giving up that early first priority pick, the Wukong was important in that last game. The Wukong of Unresponse had a lot of he was a very active player in the game, so leaving up priority picks like that seems like a very dangerous choice when you're in a hole. ZMG Luna's got some fire, they've got some momentum now. So letting them continue that momentum seems like a double-edged sword here, potentially.
I am wondering if they will allow for the essentially 3 carries in every like a carry in every lane kind of deal again, or if they will try to go another team fight comp.
I know I am going to get flamed. I said that the somewhat solo queue comp was going to be difficult to execute. They executed very well. So if I were in the coaches chat here for ZMG Luna, I would absolutely be saying for the most part, let's try and run this back. They performed so well on the champs that they felt comfortable on, and they managed to make it work.
We predicted in the beginning though when I said is if mid and top get ahead and bot it just is able to play safe, they should just outscale and win through their own initiative. And definitely is what happened. What did top ended with like what a 4K lead over the enemy top lane?
At least the last time we checked, which was right before that final push, was 4,500 gold, which is, you know, only an item and a half, nothing important.
And also setting the Orin behind, I think that also delayed some of his ability to produce the upgraded items.
Okay. Well, these two teams are getting into the lobby here. We will wait here just a moment in case they are ready to get started drafting.
Fully expect there to be a Mordekaiser ban, not gonna lie.
Definite must bans, the Mordekaiser, the Zeri, I would think. Luna has to ban here. We are getting started with draft here, so we will swap over to that. We do see the Zeri ban and the Wukong ban from Wooper not wanting to give that back to Unresponse. Are you surprised that they're putting priority on the Wukong rather than the Mordekaiser?
I'm very curious to see that they did not ban the Mordekaiser. I wonder if that means they have a pick top lane into it. Like, I'm very confused. Because they're and they didn't ban the Senna. So okay.
So the Senna, the instant lock-in for ZMG Luna. The Vayne that TA Wooper apparently favors is still available, as is the Volibear, which is what they pick up here. Not incredibly effective last game at affecting the map on this Volibear. Are you surprised that they pick it up again immediately?
It's also a pick away from Luna's jungler because there is a huge history of Unresponse playing the Volibear.
Second pick is going to be the Jinx for that ADC.
I feel like they're giving bot lane less and less agency with a Jinx pick. I wonder if that means they are gonna pick something like a Shen top maybe, and do like a protect the Jinx comp.
Do you think then that they'll be aiming to get that Lulu in the final pick of the first draft if it comes through?
Will an Aphelios pick.
So that is going to be the Senna support and not a Senna ADC.
Yeah, like I said before, their support player has like a 70% win rate on Senna. And then their ADCs, two big champions, I believe, are Aphelios and Samira. So currently Luna is picking a full team of
Comfort
comfort
picks.
pick. Yep.
And we
That
do
will
see the
lock.
Hecarim as well. This was something that Glorsnacks had commented in, or was it Chino that was in here during one of the breaks, commented that the Hecarim had been floated in game 1, but they decided against it, choosing to bring it out here in game 3.
Yon pick on the side of Uber. I wonder if they're going to try to give them the brother matchup between Yasuo and Yon.
Do you think there's a chance here that that goes up to Ishan as the weak side top laner?
I don't. If you're playing weak side top and your main top laner just plays tanks, I don't believe you give them Yon. That's a completely different play style, and I am heavily believing that that's going to be a Yon mid.
We do see the Ornn band taking that away from Ishan. He played it both game 1 and game 2.
If I was blue, I would have saved the Ornn ban for a second rotation and see if they ban the Mordekaiser here or not, because of the likelihood of there. Yep, there's a Mordekaiser ban. Never mind. Well,
But just
I
because
guess
you
it worked
know
out.
that Ornn Mordekaiser matchup is favorable, you want to pick into it if possible.
Yep. That's why I would have waited to see them actually ban the Mordekaiser, but at last, it works out. Neither top laner gets Ornn or Mordekaiser.
And the Aurelia ban here for the final ban out of ZMG Luna. Blitzcrank for the support with this Jinx. Well, you were saying that the bot lane didn't seem to have much agency. Blitzcrank is certainly one way to get some agency back into that lane. Lissandra and Aatrox to round out ZMG Luna's comp. Very aggressive champions all across the board here. Is this just ZMG Luna saying, we did well in game 2, we're in game 3, let's take comfort picks and just go with it?
that Swole's like main top laner is the Aatrox. Oh, so is that a Yone top with the Cassio mid?
It certainly looks like it, unless we're seeing something as incredibly strange as a Yone jungle, which would certainly be out of...
Or Cassio top? I know for a while at one point, like, people used to send like Victor top into certain melee matchups.
Yeah, for a while there, I did play some Cassio top. It was quite fun, although I'm not entirely certain that this is a matchup that would love to have a Cassio. Well, ZMG Luna's team very much focusing on what they're comfortable on. Do you think they'll be able to turn that individual comfort into good team play across the Rift?
If last game is any indication, I do believe that top should be able to get a lead. Sorry. And then mid is more or less playing for pick, right, with Alessandra. So I am curious to see if there is more focused bot lane this game in trying to get the Phelios ahead. Well, Phelios Senna.
Of course, the Hecarim has great gank support in every lane. The Lissandra is self-evident, the Aatrox is self-evident, and even the Senna Aphelios have very strong lockdown, assuming Aphelios has the correct guns. So hopefully we will see Unresponse be more active in the early game than he was last game.
Okay, I did call it. It is a Cassiopeia top.
It is.
Because I was like, hey, Yone does not fit that top laner's playstyle. But I guess, like, at least with the Cassio, it's kind of a safer pick, I guess, because you have the I don't know. It's still kind of sus.
it doesn't particularly fit, I still feel.
It really doesn't.
I
Maybe
mean,
they were a mid laner that went top. Like, I don't know. And that's why they're on just tank duty.
we will have to see what happens in game.
Uh,
I will freely admit to being completely flummoxed here.
I will say though, they may have picked the Casio because of they did not pick AP top. They were a full AD team, really.
What, you don't think we're gonna get the full AP support Blitzcrank? Grabbing the early Lich Bane, just gonna delete folks with a single combo?
I think on both sides they will be playing toward bot side. I feel like it'll be interesting to see the rotations of mid lane because I feel like it's just going to be a party in the bot lane from what I'm seeing.
Both
Either
Yone,
that or they're going to abandon Jinx bot lane and Blitz is going to start roaming mid and top to try to get them ahead.
both Yone and Lissandra have good roam pressure, so if they can get free of the lane, they can wreak havoc across the map, rather. I definitely think the wild card in this game is going to be top lane. What Ashan is going to do on this Cassiopeia. Curveball completely out of left field.
I think red side does technically outscale.
I would agree with that. Although, again, it will depend on what build Ashan goes.
And It'll depend on how bad the early game is for them.
This is true. Lots of question marks here. Game 3 forcing TA Wooper to pull out some of the planning stops that I'm not sure they were entirely prepared for as they bring out an interesting comp here.
Because if they can, I mean, like, I guess, like, the Lissandra and the Hecarim will essentially try to dive that Jinx to kill her. Because that's pretty much the... Once you kill Jinx, you stop the resets, then you turn on, like, either Yone or Cassio.
And you
I don't
can't
know.
really rely on the Cassio to be disengaged like you could with the Ornn because she'll likely be TPing in from matching the Aatrox. We will have to see
And
how these fights turn out. I am fascinated to watch this, I suppose.
and then, but like then again, like blue side still does have like Senna, and Senna has infinite scaling with her souls.
And it's not like
But
late game Aphelios isn't scary. If the other
uh,
3 members act as meat shield, the double ADCs in the backline can definitely tear apart TA Wooper if they're not careful.
I do think blue side has the advantage in the fights, excluding like Blitzcrank getting like a god hook on someone important.
Well, we will have to see what happens in this game. I am looking forward to it. We will go into a brief spectator delay here as we wait for Game 3 to start. Don't go anywhere, this series is not over yet. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Game 3 here of this exciting best of 3 in Week 2 between ZMG Luna and Team Ambition Wooper. We do see the 5-man invade with the Blitzcrank. This is not at all surprising. Alolan Zoro forced to flash away from the hook. But they do not find any kills there.
I feel like we should know that if they have a Blitzcrank, the odds of someone invading are pretty high. I feel like that was very an interesting choice.
Telegraphed.
Yeah, I
Welcome
mean,
back,
like,
Will.
I know in some cases, some supports will just ward that Tribush and walk away, and then you don't even really risk
Uh-oh.
getting hooked.
We do have a
Looks
delayed
like,
second invade here. Hecarim
like
just making the smart choice to move up to his top side. He will choose to likely vertical jungle this as Beepots will take this red buff away from him.
Have warded their red buff now. They know something's up. And it has to be careful here in the bot lane that they don't choose to immediately still go for them. Now Lysandra will find that Yon just came from the side of the brush. So now they know for sure that Volibear was just invading at our red.
It looks like Volibear would not go, or is not going for the extended trade though. Or no, he's going to
Nope.
he's going for the chickens. I lied. Looked like he was just
They
walking
did
out.
spot him on the ward though, so they know he's there. Of course, Senna must played by Aloe and Zohan. They chose to remove another. Oh my goodness, that Blitzcrank hook just went through 2 minions.
I was gonna say before, I've played as Blitzcrank into Senna. If Senna spaces correctly and uses her W effectively, like Blitzcrank should not have like any chance of getting a pull.
Right now, it is just nice damage right here onto the top lane. Huge overhand slam there. Able to just trade back effectively. Aatrox into the Cassiopeia.
So Cassio will need to be careful, especially since they know that Hecarim, well, they're just vertical jungling.
Especially, yeah, this could be a potential flash burn here. And Cassio just walked back up. The W will miss onto Aatrox. The flash from him way too late. I think he was not in any danger at all. The stick around is going to be able to hit there as Alune walks back up for it. Ignite has been dropped. Now he's able to try and run away as much as he can. Flash forward, it won't matter. Sino steals the soul of the run. First blood for Luna. As now Jinx is also going to be taking a nice bad trade here. Aatrox Infernal Chains will hit a minion again. Mr. President, get down! As he will be able to save his life there. Lysandra just able to stop the Yon in his tracks. And now Volibear deciding that he wants to go ahead and steal! Oh no. Response just got highlight played. Oh, Infernal Chains to hit right then and there.
And
this
a
could
shot
be
is out of mana.
Cassiopeia. That's a flash forward. That's it right there. Swoop Pangu! The God Killer confirms another one. As Molly has been dodge rolling this entire game though, but has no more mana. Has the teleport. Should just go for the reset here. Oh. Was the rock chat, I think, right there. His response now is he going to go in on Yon here. He is ignited. He's going to go ahead and try whatever kill he can. It will get into Flash Volibear. It will means, and it's going to be a double kill for Yon.
I think that was
forces the fight.
That was too fast, especially since Cassio had no mana or health.
Lysandra may have gone ahead and fallen here. Is it going to be enough? The poison won't hit. Swopangu barely escapes with his life. Oh, my goodness.
I think in this situation, both mid and top, Luna has overstayed their welcome. I think they both should have reset a little bit earlier than when they did. But that's
I agree.
Fine. That's fine.
I mean, Senna and Aphelios can get ahead, then Yona is not an issue. As now it's going to be a Hecarim. He is engaging right here onto the Blitzcrank, though. This is potentially really bad. Has to flash away. Will be able to escape Lysandra trying to collapse, but it's way too late. So far, Yon has a crit cloak with the Berserker Greaves. Of course, Yona gets extra crit for it. Is another invade right here, as now Volibear will find him. Blitzcrank is right here, though. Hecarim just trying his best to do what he can. Think he's going to try and realize he has to give it up, but Aphelios and Senna are on their way, and he's not going to be able to really secure it now. This is going to be the Yon going in as much as he can right now. Does not have the ultimate. The Senna heal is there. Now he uses the ultimate. Way too late. That is a 1-for-1 right now. And it's going to be a huge Yon angle as now Senna is in a horrible spot. Stick around as you may see that you are not long for this world. Yon 4-0. Disaster striking right now for Luna. That is not what you want to see happen with that Yon pick taken. Oh, man. Now, if you are the side, oh my goodness, just as I say, another fight is happening top lane. Ishan not going to have ultimate yet. The Q is not up from Aatrox, so he won't continue the fight. World Ender popped, but no kill confirmed. Now it is really bad for Aatrox to be in this position. The Ghost is going to be used immediately by Hecarim. He's going to run top. Nay, horse, nay! Swolpengu will get the kill due to the infernal chains, confirming that one.
I just looked it up. Apparently, Lissandra has a 50.16% into Yone. So mid lane is a complete skill matchup.
Oh, I think it's just the fact of if Lissandra can shut down Yone early game, where she can be able to ult him with her team, really.
Yeah, but like what I was saying was like that's why I felt like early on she probably should have reset when her mana was low.
This is a bit of a problem. Swolpengu is going for the reset now. Volibear's not checking the first bush available. Well, actually check the second, but Ghost or him in the back. Swolpengu's out of there!
Oh my gosh. And the great escape.
Volibear, hello, my good sir. It's not going to be enough for you. As now Blitzcrank is trying to go in as much as he can here. That's a lot of Aphelios damage potentially here. Senna is going to go in for the ultimate here. This is going to be the heal coming through. Stink's ultimate is ready. Right down in there, and it will find one! An overstepped fight right then and there means that Senna can't get the auto off, and it's a shutdown going to Yone. ZMG need to relax. They are pushing this tempo way too fast. Yone, double the gold of Lissandra. He's going to instantly back and have shield bow. This game is coming harder and harder the more you try to force it. And now it's going to be an instant little secure right then and there, and response is dead. Oh no. This is starting to get bad to worse.
I don't know if they really have the answer to Yone if with the way they're currently playing.
I think they need to relax.
I think Senna also needs to save her W for a guaranteed hit because she keeps like missing it, and then that's how Blitz and Yone are able to kind of get in there.
I will say the saving grace for ZMG Luna right now is that the entire gold lead is on Yone. So if they manage to get a fight where they can either take Yone out of it or take a fight while Yone isn't there, they actually have an advantage gold for gold.
Right. Mostly has calmed down right now, but this is a bit of a problem coming forward. But at this point, if you are Zero Mechanics Luna, you need to start relaxing. Help get your top lane ahead to try his best to do what he can. Get your mid lane ahead. Look at Lissandra's items. Just double amp tone and a corrupting with a D-ring compared to a shield bow berserkers at 9 minutes. As now Senna was actually going to eat that right then and there. But my good sir, it was a bait. You have been rused, Blitzcrank. Oh, response doesn't actually hit it. And he will confirm it with the double of Aphelios ultimate.
Rome, Yone is just happy taking mid turret and getting those plates, further gapping the gold lead.
I don't think Lissandra needed to roam here in the end. It really wasn't worth it. You need 2 people mid now to guarantee it. Volibear is heading down bot. It's second tower plating completed on the side of ZMG there. And now, this Yone is just a problem. If Lissandra ultimate strikes true and we are able to blow up the Yone, I think that it's a good shot right then and there. Senna is actually going to W there correctly. Volibear still flashes for it, forcing Senna to go ahead, and he will fall! Is it going to be enough? It's there, but Yone is now here, and that's 1-for-1. Response will get that trade. As he had ghosted in and ulted in, Yone is here trying his best to do what he could there. Wasn't able to do much, not able to burst response, and Volibear ran it down for a support. Oh,
Hey,
Swole.
to be fair.
Swole. He's going to go for it. Infernal Change right then and there. There is no miasma dropped yet. That's going to be the one. He is completely turned around and still grounded now. And now this could be a problem. Aatrox trying to do what he's best he can. The Ignite is there. The Flash, he aims the wrong way. And they trade.
All of that hype, and they just killed each other.
What a shame. Like Romeo and Juliet, as now a loon pushing up by himself confirms his death.
If you know that there's a Blitzcrank, do you walk up there without a wave?
No.
No.
He walked up with the wave. You still don't walk up.
You don't walk up without, at least not without Senna.
At least not. You need Senna, because now it's a lot of gold going into the Jinx, funneling her. At least Senna could stop the Jinx backing away mostly, but she needs somebody else here. And Response is topside, taking Rift Herald, or just taking the Scuttle forward, really. Response had an excellent Rift Herald last game, but decides not to go for it this time. Blitzcrank decides to reveal himself for dramatic effect. As Gale Force is complete for Aphelios. Hecarim pinging his ultimate, maybe looking for something mid lane, as Ishan will go ahead and take that. And do you like the items top lane?
Aatrox defense and Cassio built offense.
Oh, I think Cassio may have messed up here. Really in a bad spot, though. Ezra's dropped already grounded, and Aatrox just steals it! My goodness, this Aatrox is going to become a problem.
As I was saying, Aatrox is actually just built damage, with the Hex Drinker.
Yeah, I think that was the way you wanted to correct yourself.
Yeah.
Of course, it is scaling here. Senna is going to eventually outrange the poor little Jinx, as Powder is not up to the task yet. As Hecarim is instantly going to go in here onto the Volibear, but Yone has first move, so I really don't think you take this fight if you are ZMG. I think
you try to either get mid turret or top turret. You just kind of leave that alone.
I think you have to give it up. Unfortunately, it is too much. Right now, they will be able to secure that. And Senna went for the steal, not able to get it. Lots of tower plating top. Molly backing right in front of Yone, but no one else is there to cover it mid. Yone just gets a free mid tower. I think that was a massive misplay onto Molly there, as no one is able to cover it, and Yone's gold only gets extended more.
Rated kind of to see, will Aatrox get ahead or will Yone get ahead?
First item Maw. Okay, go. Unresponse now going to go in on poor little Cassiopeia. Yone is nearby. Now I think Unresponse has to ult away. I don't think you have to go for this, my good sir. And now you're going to be ulted, followed instantly. The poison will confirm it. Greedy plays right now are being the death of ZMG. Right now it is Response having a great last game, but not able to match it really this game. Aatrox into Yone is a bit better for the Aatrox, but now this is
Aatrox
going
has
to be...
Maw. Maybe that's Maw.
Yeah, Aatrox has Maw, not able to really use that effectively, as now Molly will just eat away Senna. Eating poke, but it is Senna, so she is full HP. As now she's going to instantly keep trading then and there. W'd onto the minions is not enough here. Luna now at a point where even though Yone has a crap ton of gold, he is 4,000 ahead of Molly. It's not over until the fat lady sings, is what my mama told me.
And she ain't singing yet.
So do you think they're going to try to drop it like top or bot? To just...
I think they have to try and drop this bot. I think that would be their most effective method here. As now Swolpengu's not going to really engage anymore once Leandri's has been built. Does have the full Maw. And does have the Iron Spike, but just chooses to go and get Gromp instead. Heal up as much as he can. Because, Gromp healing is really good, for him. He's able to secure it. Aphelios is able to back with Senna by his boots. Some items completed, but...
That's likely the bot turret dead here, though, with that back timing.
It is the bot turret dead. It's a shame. Now, this is really just in a bad spot here for Luna. So they have to try and do what they can. But now it's just seeming like it's going to be everybody mid the party. As Hecarim is in a really bad spot here, is able to dodge that hook. There's the Yone ultimate, or the Yone unstoppable, my bad, apology. Fate Undivided. As now Yonama will be able to hit that ulti on nobody. And is now eating a ton of poke for it. And now here is Volibear. This is Aphelios' time. The Q is able to hit onto 2 there, but that's a lot of damage alone, and it's almost dead, and he will fall instantly! Unresponse! Not able to do much there. Yone did have shield bow procced, but my goodness. And it's going to be a Swole Pango on the top lane. Oh, if he had hit the Aphelios ultimate Q there, I think he confirms that kill. Unresponse, now wanting to go in, will only go ahead and drive by the Jinx. Dragon coming up soon in about a minute and a half. Bit of a problem coming up right now if you are Luna. Top lane is winning. Yes, that is your winning lane. You will get top tower for this. Resets are done. But now you just need to scale with Senna Aphelios. Cassiopeia not really a threat this game. Volibear not really a threat. The Jinx is starting to become a bit of a problem, but I believe it is able to be overturned by the Aphelios late game. But at this point, you need to start playing this game smarter if you are Luna. You need to play this game smarter. You need to realize mistakes. Can't go for certain plays. Don't force it. The moment you force it, the moment you play into their hand, as this Yone is instantly popping.
Oh my god, that was so scary.
Okay, Yone instantly going to go in here right then and there, but here's Molly. He is actually going to ult himself, and now Yone has a fuse for ultimate by himself, and he will be able to fall finally. Aphelios will confirm that one. Aatrox is here as World Ending will actually heal up just quite a bit, but the Moss Shield is not enough. Molly is there, and that's a forward by Volibear. Is it going to be enough? Molly will fall, and a disaster fight just as I had said it. They decide to go for it, and it's a triple kill for the Jinx.
They are forcing these fights. And in that fight, it looked like it was split. Aatrox went forward while the rest of the team backed up. I feel like if they either needed to all go forward or all need to go back. Having the split call there, I think, is what really cost them that fight to the extent that it happened. Also, Senna really needs to survive the initial burst.
Well, if there's any silver lining, it is that the Aphelios got that big shutdown on Yone at least. Right? At least a little bit of gold in the pocket of that ADC will keep them somewhat in the game, even though Aphelios, or not Aphelios, Yone is up 5,000 gold at the moment.
Currently 4,000 gold behind.
Oh. Now, it is really up to how they can handle this, pretty much. I think that right now they are still in a position where they can still win this game, but they have to slow it down, wait for Aphelios to scale, wait for Senna to scale, and then just go ahead and do what we can. Unresponse here, going again for another pick onto the Hecarim, and is instantly going to go in for 3 here. Senna is just with him right now. Here is Aphelios. There is no Yone right there, but Volibear is onto the poor little Aphelios, and there's going to be a trade top lane right now. Molly is here, able to use his Zonias effectively. Huge crit strike right then and there, but Molly is going to go ahead and fall. Jinx triple kill. It's gonna be another quadra kill for the Jinx. And Luna just don't listen. They repeat the same mistakes. Baron now instantly going to be started here for Ambition Wooper. It's a smart play. They have enough damage. Jinx is ahead. You have the Yone.
confused
And
with that play because it looked like the Helios just like left 2 members, like they weren't completely dead yet. And so then when Alun left, they just
he
lost
was
all
300 HP. He got completely bursted down by Volibear.
Was it just me, or did the Lissandra self-ult hit nobody? She Eden self-ulted, and nobody took any damage from it, which definitely did not help that fight.
truck now deal with the Cassiopeia. I just feel like Luna is just like trying to keep forcing these plays, and it's just not helping.
I think Luna just needed to back off here. So now they're going to go in for another play here onto the Volibear. Ultimate will only hit Senna. That's going to be a 1-for-1 trade right then and there. Aatrox now trying to do what he can, but he is just not enough. Luna forces another fight and loses another fight. When will Luna realize that they can't force fights anymore?
Hecarim
Middle
just kept
inhibitor.
diving there too. Like, that was a little questionable.
I think he got pulled over the wall, actually. I don't think that was entirely his fault.
He went for the initial play on the Volibear and just instantly got pulled there, and now inhibitor is gone.
Looks like that
Luna,
will be all they lose there.
10,000 gold down. This is starting to get ugly to watch.
Now, the question becomes, from what we've heard, a lot of the teams in all of the Aegis leagues so far this split have struggled to close out games. Teams have been miles ahead, both in scrims and in match play, and have just not been able to pull the final trigger. From what we've seen of Ambition Wooper so far, will
Oh
they
my
buck that
goodness,
trend?
Senna will eat another hook.
At this point, Luna cannot win this game without what's their name? What's
Ambition Wooper.
Ambition like throwing the game. They would have to. They're gonna have to. The only way they have a chance at winning this is making plays off of their misplays.
Tower
This
will
should.
fall. It's right
This
now.
will probably end within the next 5 minutes.
It's right now. Luna just suffering.
Unless they're just gonna back up. Never mind. Maybe not that quick. But it is Red Game's game to throw, not Blue Game's to win.
Now has been seen. Problems really stemming is misdraft, I believe. The side of Luna. Hecarim just constantly going in. It's not been rewarding at all. Luna now in a really tough spot. But the game is not over yet. As
They
now
need
they
to
will
get
be.
these defensive wards down in their jungle so that they can see the rotations. And they're probably gonna have to give every objective until they get some gold in their pockets.
This is what blue side sees right now. They have absolutely nothing on the map.
It's also unfortunate that they weren't able to get a single Drake this game. So
It's hard for them to have a shot this game. Of course, not impossible.
Mollywop's getting collapsed on here.
Molly doesn't take that E in, so saves his life. Has to give up that tower though. Any shot of it happening is ending up sooner and sooner. They have to go for a play. They have to go for it soon. Cassio's not here, and that's going to be the instant Blitzcrank pull onto a Loon. And he does fall. Too much damage just taken for it. Aatrox is going to go in there right now. He's able to mostly sustain as much as he can. Aatrox doing what he can to sustain damage. Response is in him with him as well. Response barely in. Goredrinker popped, and that will be one falling. And now Jinx just able to get away fully. Loon's base is going to go down. Loon in a dominated fashion, 13,000 gold down at 27 minutes. Humongous misplays in the early game are the reason for this loss. As now, I really do believe that A will go ahead and end it. Velios is up, the pull is true. The second Nexus Tower will fall. And Team Ambition Wooper will 2-1 the series against ZMG Luna.
Well, after a good showing in game 2, that was disappointing
I'll let you
during
finish
game 3.
this off one. I'll be right back.
Glors, of course, is heading off to go comfort the likely very disappointed players of Team Luna here after a hard loss third match. Well, if nothing else, at least they managed to pick up their first game win in AGL play.
What do you think went wrong in that draft?
I don't think the draft was wrong per se. I think the problem was, and I don't want to pin it too much on one player, but I think that a lot of the problems in that mid game, especially, were that Unresponse was far too aggressive on his Hecarim. It almost makes me wonder if he's used to playing Hecarim in solo queue and was not prepared for a coordinated team response to constant diving. Because in most of those fights, the start was Unresponse goes too far, Unresponse takes a bad fight, Unresponse gets caught out because he's overextended. I think the draft would have been fine if they had been more comfortable playing their champs in a 5-man setting versus a solo queue setting. How about you? What do you think went wrong in particular there?
I feel, as you kind of mentioned, Hecarim was going a little bit too deep for what his team could follow up with. But I mean, that also kind of came down with the draft in a way, because which him going that deep would have been fine if Molly was at least even with Yon, because if you look at the direction of that team comp, Hecarim and Lissandra want to go in, right? But Aphelios is kind of in the middle, and then Senna kind of has to be playing back, just kind of healing and autoing as she can. But since Yon got so far ahead, there really wasn't enough protection for the back lane for Yon to just go in and ult. And then, although Aatrox was able to get a lead top, it just wasn't enough to deal with like a 10-0 Yon.
If you're ZMG here, what are you taking into week 3 of AGL, now down to 0-2 moving forward? What do you take out of this match? What do you focus on moving forward?
I feel like one thing to kind of keep in mind with this week is that they did have a great showing in game 2. So I feel like it's kind of coming up with more comps that fit that kind of a play style, if that makes sense.
Do you think we can attribute some of the shakiness that ZMG Luna showed here to the fact that there have been so many roster changes this week?
I mean, this is essentially the first week that all of these players have played together. So, I mean, I hope that next week we'll have a stronger showing now that they've been playing a little bit together a little bit more.
Do we have any idea if we are going to be able to get anyone in here for a post-match interview? What is our status on that?
I'm asking in chat currently.
All right. Well, we will wait for just a moment here to see if we can get a person from Team Luna to join us here on the desk for a final breakdown of how that felt from a team perspective. But
It does look like we will be able to get a loon to talk to.
alrighty.
I am waiting a little bit.
Well, folks, just hang tight. We will have a loon with us here momentarily.
It's all about humanity. Hello.
Ladies
Hello.
and gentlemen, welcome back. We are joined by ZM Loon, Team Luna's support.
That's an ADC.
That
No,
is
no, no,
ADC.
no, no.
Scheisse.
ADC.
I am very bad at my job. All right.
He was playing the Helios.
Yeah,
Okay. I have an excuse then because Sen is an ADC.
yeah. We'll go with that.
It's definitely not that I'm fried or anything. Of course, I can imagine that y'all aren't exactly feeling great either. Y'all coming out of that with some okay mental, knowing that it's a new team, you're getting used to each other, and this was first week to shake off the cobwebs.
Well, um, obviously the mental is not very high at the moment. First off, I want to say Pingu's an absolute god. He did God's work of top lane. But yeah, the mental isn't that great, but it's not like in the gutter either because we did take a game off them, and I think we can win.
I mean, game 2 really showed the strengths of your team and how you guys were able to close out that game.
I mean, yeah, we played an awesome game too, but we couldn't translate it to game 3. But yeah, we're just gonna practice for next week.
Knowing what went well in game 2, do you think having the actual time to use next week to scrim with these new folks, since both of your solo laners were replaced or new roster changes, you think having that extra preparation time will help you recapture some of the magic that you guys found in game 2?
Yeah, 100%. I do think that that will help us a lot. Because obviously after game 2, we knew in ourselves that we can win and we should win. But yeah, I think the week of practice will help us a lot.
Do you think,
Into
in a
going into
way,
week 3.
that maybe since you guys won so hard in game 2, we're a little bit too hypey in game 3? Because I felt like you guys kept trying to force things in game 3.
Yeah, I think that is one of the things. We were really hyped in after game lobby after game 2, and you could tell kind of off the plays we were making that we were like maybe going too aggressive. So yeah, I do think yeah.
Were
Um,
there any other major points from being in all of those games that you think that ZMG Luna as a team is doing incredibly well, or that you guys still need to work on moving forward?
Well, there's obviously things we have to work on. I'd have to double check with coaches for that because some games we play amazing and then some games it's like game 3.
Sure, I was just
uh,
curious from your perspective what you see that you're happy with, not happy with, that you think you guys are doing well or badly.
I'm very happy with the team. I think we play well together when we can play well together. I think we have a lot of strengths of the team, especially with the new top laner coming in, which I think is a really strong top laner. Um, what I don't like is that we keep beating ourselves, just as our coaches told us and how we all thought. We keep beating ourselves in games such as game 3, maybe even game 1. Uh, yeah, we just beat ourselves. So we're gonna have to work on it. There's obviously things we have to work on, such as team fighting. Me personally, I'm gonna be doing a lot of CS drills. But yeah, there obviously is room for improvement, but I am happy with how we are right now.
do you have any final words about what you think week 3 will look like?
Um, I just want to win. That's all I really have to say.
We'd love to see some wins out of y'all too. We will be continuing to root for you from here on the casting deck.
Thank you very much, and thank you for casting.
Thank
Awesome
you
production.
for joining us. You have a great night and keep your spirits up. You got this.
Yep.
Believe.
Thank
I
you.
always
You too.
believe. Not gonna lie, after yesterday's game in game 3, I was like, maybe they come back. I always believed until I said I think the game will end in 5 minutes. But majority of that game I had faith.
You pulled a papa, to say the least.
Alrighty, thank you for joining us, Aloon. Appreciate
Thank you
you
very much
being
for
here.
having me. I'll see you guys.
Alrighty. And with that, folks, that will be the end of our stream for tonight. As you saw, unfortunately, ZMG Luna did fall to Team Ambition Wooper 2-1, leaving them 0-2 in AGL play. However, the season is far from over, and with this new squad given some time to work together, we will hopefully see them come back revamped, recharged, and ready to go next week. If you'd like to see more ZMG games on this channel, don't forget to follow and keep your notifications on. We will be streaming fairly often, so keep your eyes on us, and please join us every time we are here. Until next time, thank you guys for being here. We have been ZMG, and it will be a lovely night.